Have you ever had an experience that was so overwhelming you just weren't sure what to do? Obstacles are appearing in all different ways, and it just kind of freezes the personality, the psyche. Um, I've had that experience before. Not sure what to do, how to move forward. Is it even possible? Even in the seeming impossibility of what's right there before you. When I'm looking at the Bible verse from the New International Version, James 1, chapter 2 through 6, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its works, so that you may be the mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea blown and tossed by the wind. When we're looking at this metaphysically, we are instructed to look at the challenges with pure joy, calling us to connect with and act from our higher self through the spiritual consciousness that Jesus called the kingdom of heaven. Whenever we feel a lack of wisdom, we are instructed to ask God or call upon our Christed nature, the God within. When we do that, unlimited wisdom is available to us and our path becomes clear. But you know what? We must ask. When we become distracted from other things like fear, we move our consciousness from that state of the kingdom of heaven to the earth mindset. It reminds me of something that I challenge myself with every year. I've done it 3 years in a row. In Mount Pleasant, we have a race, a 5K race called the Rugged Maniac. And it's a 5K mud run, and it has incredible obstacles. Now, you have to understand, I'm not a runner. I don't like heights. And this is something that is really a big challenge for me. Not sure what the motivation was, other than I heard that call from Spirit, do this. And so as I began to run the race, I began to set up rules for myself that I had to try every obstacle. And there's 25 obstacles. There's freezing water, there's barbed wire, there's all kinds of hills and rings and things that just invite you to push yourself beyond your limit. And as I'm running the race, it starts out with a 5 foot wall. And listen, I'm 5 foot 5 inches. So I barely could get over the starting wall, which is funny because, I was ready to give up. I was like, oh my gosh, it just started. I can't even get into the race grounds. So, you know what? Through patience and ingenuity and even help from people going by, I was able to scale that first wall, get into the race, and get moving. They had these really cool obstacles that are on an A-frame, and it goes up about 2 stories high. My husband, you see, is a safety manager, and so I understand the importance of safety protocol. And when you climb something that's 1.5 stories or 2 stories high, you really should be strapped in just in case you fall. But you know what? That's not the way this race was. There were none of those. And I'm like, I can do this. I can do this. And I start to scale up the one side and I get up to the very top. People are running by me. They are scaling the wall, flipping over, getting to the other side, getting down. And I can hear that fear in my voice, in my head, just talking and saying, you can't do this. What are you thinking? You have no reason to be here. And I was just like, no, I can do this. I can do this. And I hold on tight. I grab that top rung with everything. I was holding on, even with the muscles in my ear, because I did not want to fall. Now, as I'm having the conversation in my head, I'm hearing the voice say, you could hurt yourself. What are you doing? And I thought to myself, well, I wonder if the ambulance will come out into this wooded area to help me when I fall and break myself. all of these different things that were really just stopping me, causing me to freeze and question what was going on. But the still small voice came in such a powerful way. You got this. I've got you. You can do this. Swing one leg over. And I do. My heart is pounding. I can feel it. I'm developing bruises on every part of my body where I'm holding on because I'm squeezing so tight. And I have people now gathering at the bottom and they're cheering me on. They're saying what my higher self is saying. You can do this one step at a time. Come on, you've got this. And I begin to go and I swing the other leg around and I didn't fall. I didn't hurt myself. And I scaled down the wall. It was such an exhilarating experience, and there were 24 others of those. And you know what? I did that, and there were times when I came across people that I helped to motivate and allowed myself to give that ray of encouragement, even in the darkest time. So we allow ourselves to face these things. We allow ourselves to go forward. Eric Butterworth, in essay number 20, The Magic of Faith Thinking, he says, faith is the willingness to work in the dark, to walk a trail that the heart can see, but the eye cannot. And in my case, run a trail that the heart can see and the eye cannot. It's just amazing what we do when we access that power of faith within us, when we give way and push away that fear and allow ourselves to embrace that faith thinking. Later on in the essay, Butterworth recounts a story of an actress who was in an automobile accident. She could no longer walk. She had to play all of her parts in seated positions. She was cast in a movie where a minister actor was delivering a message on faith. And she's sitting in the front row pew along with all the others. And the minister says, if you believe and if you get that faith into your heart and mind, and if you step out on that faith, you can do amazing things. Suddenly, without thinking, she got up from the pew and walked out with the other cast members when it was time to go. It is truly amazing what happens when we align our mind with divine thinking. We allow ourselves to move forward and be transformed. Don't be afraid to face the fear. It's going to be there. It's going to remind us to access those things. I used to think it was there to trick me. I don't believe that anymore. We are given that opportunity, and when we look at it like the Bible verse says, enjoy, knowing that we have it already. When we have that joy exuberating from us, we know that we access that divinity within. We align our thinking with divine mind. So the next time you find yourself in the wraps of fear and uncertainty, if you feel like you're frozen and unsure of what your next step will be, if you're scared to take that next step, I invite you to do the following. Just stop and take a deep breath. Allow yourself to be fully present to your situation. Ask yourself, what is stopping you? Face the fear. Give yourself a moment to actually feel it. When you do, when you bring your awareness to that fear, you realize then it has no power over you. Bring your awareness to the God within, so you know that all things are possible. Ask for what you need in every situation and believe that it is already yours. Know this for yourself. I stand fast in faith. I am courageous and strong and free. And so you are, and so it is. And so we give thanks. Amen.